Good morrow, everyone. This is CedLove with his Devil's Advocate podcast. Hope you're enjoying your day. If not, hope tomorrow goes better. Today we're going to do something a little different. I'm actually going to have a specific topic on a specific movie. As you saw in the title, we're going to talk about Saltburn. Before we actually get into the movie Saltburn, just a little history on me. I've always considered myself, to a degree, if not a movie buff, definitely been like a Hollywood buff. Like one of my favorite shows, definitely like in high school, was TMZ, because I actually cared about celebrities, into a degree gossip. I probably don't care about like a celebrity's favorite food or like, what like their passion was when they was a kid to like inspired to be movies. But, I just kind of cared because I just kind of liked that lifestyle. Because, I actually wanted to be in business, still kind of do. But, I like the lifestyle. So even though I do consider myself a Hollywood buff and a movie buff, I felt I watched definitely a decent amount of movies. I don't always try to watch the cliche movies. So, from the long time ago, like the 16 Candles, the movie E.T., Jurassic Park and all stuff, even though I've seen Jurassic Park. I never said I tried to look at those. But, if a certain movie was popular enough, I would definitely try to watch it. Forrest Gump. That was just random just because my wife, when we first started dating, never saw Forrest Gump. And I was like, we got to put on Forrest Gump. Whether you like it or not, you got to watch Forrest Gump just so you can understand why people like this movie and so you can understand like the pop cultures, or as we call them, the memes. You got to watch Forrest Gump. So in the most recent year, I basically realized I haven't really been watching movies like I used to just because they don't interest me like they used to. Because I'm at this point now, I still like going to the movies. But if I go to the movies, there's a good chance it's a movie I really, really, really want to see. So I would say probably one of the John Wick movies. Obviously a Marvel or Spider-Man movie. I'm not looking at DC no more. I'm kind of tired of DC. If it's a Batman movie, I'll watch Batman because Batman my boy. But there's a good chance if it's a movie I want to see, I'm going to see it. If not, I'll just watch the streaming. But with that, there's still movies that kind of come out not in the theaters. Or maybe actually they did come in the theaters. But there's still some movies that come out that I don't know about. But at a certain point, I kind of hear certain things. I'm like, all right, I got to watch this movie. So, the movie we're talking about again, Saltburn. How did I hear about this movie? From one of my other podcasts I listened to, and they told me about a certain scene, which I will talk about later. And I was just like, I don't want to see this movie because of this scene, but I want my wife to see this movie because of this scene, because I'm very curious how she's going to react to this scene. Because when I heard it, I was just like, it's disgusting, but it can't be all that bad. So again, I like to watch movies, but I also like to watch movies with my wife, because my wife is a commentator. There are sometimes she talks, and I would say I kind of mentally prepared myself. If it was a movie theater, I tell her, shut up. And I'm very upfront. Shut up. Shut up. If we're at home, again, she still talks too much. And if I feel like she talks a little too much, I'll probably like nudge her. Or, I'll probably just keep rewinding over and over. Talk too much. But, I still like to watch certain movies because I know she's the best commentator when it comes to these things. So, for Saltburn, I actually had no clue what this movie's about. All I know is I found it on Amazon Prime. I was like, oh, there's the movie. Gonna watch it with the boo. So we played it. And when I tell you, Saltburn is a different animal. I've seen a lot of movies in my life. I've seen a lot of movies that, like one scene or maybe the very, very end scene that kind of leave me speechless, leave me in gah. When I tell you, Saltburn got me like good 3 times. Like, what is happening right now? Even the scene I knew was coming. Even when it happened, I was like, oh my God, what? So Saltburn, not really if we go to plot wise, I'm just giving you what I was experiencing when I watched the movie. So start off, nerd. He's going to Oxford. Obviously because he's a nerd, he ain't got no friends. Cliche or whatever. At a certain point, he gets this asphyxiation with a dude. So at that point, for me personally, I was like, all right, gay. Nothing wrong with being gay. I, rep the gays. I'm like, all right, gay. Life goes on. Some things happen where at a certain point, him and the dude he's got asphyxiation with, they become in contact and actually become, kind of close. So I'm like, cool, gay, what, else could be going on? I know the scene that's going to happen, and I'm like, all right, this is the person that is going to happen with. What leads to the scene? So one of the first things that really should have pointed out what this type of movie is going to be, the nerd, his asphyxiation with the dude, I believe, was having sex with a person. But the main point is when the dude was doing his thing with another person, the nerd, he was just chilling out the window, just looking at the dude, smoking a cigarette. Now here's the thing. I've seen enough movies where people emphasize cigarettes are important because it's not like you see the person smoking a cigarette. It's like normally it's dark enough where when the person takes a big puff, the cigarette lights up and you got that little red, the little fire part on the cigarette. So if somebody's looking in the dark, they're like, wait, I don't know who's there, but they're smoking a cigarette because they can see the red part. So again, he sees the dude in the room doing his thing with the woman. So if the dude turned around and looked out the window, he would see maybe not him, but he would see cigarettes. So the point is, he's been a stalker, but he's like being like coy, like, does he want to get caught? Does he not want to get caught? Because again, if you're just trying to be in the dark, that's one thing, but you're smoking a cigarette. The cigarette will get you caught, and you're being coy about it, so they see it. So, at a certain point, the nerd tells the dude, hey, my dad died. The dude's like, hey, I'm rich, because again, he's in Oxford, and there's like a lot of rich, fancy people. So the dude's like, hey, for the summer, come chill with me and my family. No friends, yeah, just family at my estate. So this is where the movie comes in, because where he's going to stay, the place is called Saltburn. So roll credits, they're living at the place Saltburn. So at this point for me, again, they're speaking, I think, British or English. Like their accent is not American, so it's kind of hard for me to follow. So I'm really, really going off like visuals. I told you, the whole cigarette thing, I don't really need to hear what's going on. I can see it, so it's cool. The nerd thing, the things they're doing, I can see, hey, he was a nerd. Now he's kind of with the crew, but not really with the crew. He's really with like the dude, because the dude's popular, and now the other popular people are just like, why are you bringing this nerd around? So like I'm getting cues without actually listening, because I can't really understand the accent, but I got the point. So once they got Saltburn, I'm like, all right, I'm not bored, but I'm just like, all right, like something, like I know the scene is coming, but something in this movie has to happen for the people to be talking about this movie. When I tell you, when they went to Saltburn, the movie just did like a whole 180. When I tell you, that was just a whole different breed of a movie. So he gets to Oxford. So you got the nerd, you got the popular guy. So the popular guy got a sister, you got a cousin, black dude, by the way. Oh, it's really not important, but nerd, white dude. The guy that he has a fixation with, white dude. The cousin, black. The main dude, or the dude, got a sister, and mom and dad. So it's 5 people, and technically the butler, so 6. I mean, there's a lot of butlers, but like this one butler they keep emphasizing. Boom. Got this one nerd. So, we get to meet the family, and I'm not going to go too much about that. In my opinion, normal mom is a rich, prissy person. Oh, yeah, I forgot about the auntie. Not important, but she dies off screen, so it's whatever. The black cousin, he does come in effect. That does come in effect a little bit later. It's kind of his blackness, but, the cousin comes in effect, and the sister. So all these people are interacting. So, basically just a montage of the dude being at the house for like a long time, because I told you this for the summer. And again, I'm still trying to figure out what's like the interesting part of this movie. It finally picked up. So the scene that people have been talking about the most, the dude, not the nerd, the dude was in the bathtub, self-pleasure. Hey, we've all been there. Hey, we've all been almost caught a few times. It'd be like that. But the nerd, he sees him. Again, he already was outside the window looking at the dude doing his thing with the woman. Now he's looking through a crack of the door, looking at the man's self-pleasure in the tub. Cool. Well, not cool. Weird. But cool. Nothing too crazy. I'm like, all right. I know a scene, and this gotta be like, this has to be the scene. Dude gets out the tub. Dude leaves the room. The nerd goes in the room. And people, when I tell you who he actually did it, I thought it was going to be like an off screen. Nope. They showed it. Put his face in the tub to slurp up the self-pleasure water. And the man who self-pleasure, he finished. So it's not just self-pleasure, it's self-pleasure finished water. And I tell you, he put his face in the water and he just like trying to oil his skin because he tried to get out glistening. I was kind of looking, but then when he puckered his lips, he puckered them up so good to get that little. I was like, nope, can't look at it. Can't look at it. And I told you, I'm with my wife at this point. So even though I'm looking at it, she's like, yo. And I'm like, yep, this is worth it. I'm glad my wife looking at it. So when the scene was over, I was like, all right, yeah, babe. I knew about the scene, I knew he slurped up the water. My wife told me, because again, at this point, my eyes were closed. I'm not watching it. My wife told me he didn't just slurp up the water. He put his mouth on the drain. I was like, what? Obviously, I'm not going to rewind, but I was like, what is this movie? So that was one scene. Dude slurping up self-pleasure water. And I was like, again, as I said, is the dude gay? I don't know. But he got a thing for the dude's self-pleasure water. That's one thing. Another thing that happened, I'm trying to jump all over the place, but another thing that happened, the nerd technically starts to feel himself. Like, his nerdiness was very nerdy in the beginning. But then he started to get a little cocky. He's, hey, I'm experiencing the rich life, got the rich food. They not even swimming in a pool, people. Like, the people got a castle. Instead of a pool, they just got, like, a lake. So they're just swimming in, like, this dirty-ass lake. Whatever, good for them. But he started to feel himself. You could tell he started feeling himself. At a certain point, the dude, I won't even say he started talking to the sister, because I don't really remember how they got there. Let's just remember the scene. The sister was sitting on the bench, probably like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. So it was late. The nerd approaches her. He's like putting the moves on her. Don't know why he putting the moves on her. But at a certain point, he started to, he started to finger her. Good for him. He fingered her, he likes, the power to make somebody, feel good, cool. Next thing you know, when he started to put his head a little lower to go down there, she was like, no, you can't. Basically saying it's her time of the month. That man looked her dead in the face. I like it. What? What, sir? She literally said, don't do it. Don't do it. He's like, I like it. So he goes down, he pleasure, cool. When I tell you this man took his finger with the redness, the redness, that time of the month on his finger, he put it in her mouth. Woman, that's disgusting. Don't let him do that. One, don't let him go down there. Two, don't let him put his nasty finger in your nasty cooch and then put in your... People, what happened? We had a nice movie. We was at Oxford. We was learning about calculus. Now all of a sudden, we see a woman getting eaten out. Red, just like red everywhere. Now me, who likes movies and actually likes certain scenes like, cinematography. At a certain point, after that scene happened, the dude, he had red on his face. Cause he did his thing. So, he had red on his face. This man submerged himself in the tub and you can just see the red on his face. When I tell you, he looked like the Joker that played by Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight. I was like, bruh, that's a good scene. No, the eating part, that was bleh. But the part with him in the tub with the red, that was a good scene. That was masterful. If it wasn't such a weird scene, I could see people, using that as like a wallpaper for their phone. That was a good moment. So now to the next scene. As I said, the dude has a cousin, black dude. They kind of tried to play the race card a few times in the movie, but then I kind of ignored that, whatever. But since the beginning of the movie, because the cousin was also going to Oxford, the cousin was never really a fan of the nerd, because again, he's a nerd. He's poor. His words, not ours. He's poor. So the black guy's like, why is this nerd always coming around? Oh, hey, cool. That's understandable. Now the nerd is like in the house. So I want to point out, it's the main dude, the sister, the mom, and dad, and the cousin just lives there because he's like, hey, I'm going to take advantage of my cousins being rich, so I'm just going to live there. So the cousin's like, why is he in our house? And everybody's like, this ain't your house. Details, like, I'm the cousin, so it's my house too. So at a certain point, the black dude kind of gets into a situation where, basically, he kind of asks for money from his rich family. The rich family's like, no, cool. The nerd kind of notices, like, the black guy's kind of going through something. So he, again, tries to take advantage of the black guy. Not trying to mess with him. He's not trying to mess with him yet. He just letting him know, hey, I know you going through something. He being a little cocky. He just, going through something. So the black guy does something to make the nerd feel embarrassed. It makes no sense why he did it at that moment. But, he does something to make the nerd feel embarrassed. And people, scene number 3, they're just like, what is happening? So nerd maybe is gay. He maybe has a fixation with the dude, the main dude. But there's a scene where the black guy is in the bed asleep. The nerd shows up in the bedroom. And let's just say booty stuff happened. Which again, good for gay people. It was just like, wait, I'm confused. I thought you had a thing for the main dude. Why are you with the black dude? I'm not understanding the logic of trying to take advantage of him. People, I'm gonna let you know right now. I'm a peaceful person. I told you I don't like conflict. I definitely don't like getting in fights if I can help it. That's just who I am. But I got a thing for spit / saliva / mucus. I don't know why. I just never been a fan of it. So one of the best scenes is from Flavor of Love. Is when Pumpkin did a huge to New York. And New York went to town on her. And every time I see that scene, I'm like, yes, whoop her butt, kick her. Again, I'm not a confrontation person. But if somebody spits on me, mucus, anything that's out your mouth that touching me on purpose, oh, we're going to throw hands. Like, I'm not even going to think about it. I'm just going to swing. So because of that situation, I just got to think for spit just in general. Just in general. So when the nerd was on top of the black guy, and you know, I can't go into details, you gotta watch the scene, but at a certain point, he looked at the black dude, say, I'm finna take it, and the black dude's like, no, and dude, I'm finna take it. Black dude like, no, and he did a huge spit loogie in his hand to lube up what he lubed up. I swear to God, I almost threw up. Not because of the gayness, not because of the gay sex, it's because of that spit. He had to lube it, and I was like, and that whole scene, just because of the spit, threw me off. I was like, I'm still not getting the logic of you seducing the black guy. I'm still not getting the logic of you being the one, being the bottom of the two. I mean, I don't get it, but okay, movie. But that, oh my God, it threw me off. It threw me off so bad. All right, now I'm gonna get to the climax of the movie. So the nerd again was a nerd. This man told the dude he had a fixation with, 1, my dad died. 2, my mom and dad had drug alcoholic problems, just sum it up. 3, I come from like the not most well-established home. So at the beginning of the movie, you're like, all right, cool, good for you, you're a nerd, you get to hang out with rich people. The dude he's hanging out with, one thing about the whole movie, you're really trying to figure out, is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? But you really don't know, because you know, the cliche is you're rich, you're a snob. But turns out he's actually a pretty decent guy. So on the nerd's birthday, which is during the summer, the nerd's birthday, the dude is like, hey, I'm going to surprise you. So they're driving. Next you know, the dude is like, I'm finna surprise you. We're finna go see your mama. Because at this point, the dad dead. So we're just going to see your mama. So the nerd's like, no, we can't do it. I feel like all y'all know where this is going. Turns out the nerd lied. The dad didn't die. The dad and mom are not drug or alcoholic individuals. The dad and mom actually have a decent life. There's some other lies he told, basically saying he had no brothers and sisters. He does. That he basically grew up struggling. Obviously, he didn't. So, you know, basically, at this point, the main character that you may have been rooting for, the nerd, turns out he's a big liar. Again, why is he lying? As I said, he could be gay. He could be, you know, having the fixation with the dude. But if he does, why are you lying to, you know, get the dude? So, obviously, they get back to the castle. The dude's like, real talk, leave me alone. So, again, normal people, you think would have, because I don't think, at the point, they didn't really tell the mom, dad, and sister about this. It's just the dude to know. But, you know, normally people are like, all right, get out the castle. The dude stayed in the castle. They threw, like, the castle threw him a party, which is whatever. But just like, you would think he would get kicked out the castle at that point. He didn't. So, basically, that night, the dude decides to have a little freaky time with a woman in a maze. Because, you know, they're rich. They got a pond. They got, you know, butlers. And they also just got this big, you know, bush maze. You know, look cool. I want to do it, but you know, got a bush maze. The nerd, being very, very drunk, confronts the dude. Things happen. Screen goes to black. Now, if you are very interested in this movie, big spoilers coming up. Do not continue the video. Big spoilers coming up. All right, you've been warned. The screen cuts to black. We come back. The nerd is like all groggy, trying to figure out what's going on. Everybody else is having a panic. The mom, dad, cousin, sister, butlers, all of them. They can't find the dude. Turns out the dude died. So they eventually did find him in the maze. Oh, snap. You know, dude died. Logically, the guy who's there to visit the dude, he's there to visit Saltburn, but he's there to visit the dude, the nerd. You think most people would tell the nerd, hey, nerd, real talk, this kind of a family thing. We know you've been here for the summer, but can you leave? Nobody said nothing, so the nerd stays. At a certain point, the black guy kind of does something, so he get kicked out the house. The nerd says something to the daughter, and the daughter kind of accuses him, like, hey, you're the reason my brother is dead. Next day, she died in a tub. At this point, suicide. So the brother died, sister died. Again, at this point, you would think they would ask the nerd to leave. And technically they did this time. So again, dude died, sister died, black dude got kicked out of the house. The dad, it's like, real talk, things are kind of being weird right now. I kind of need you to leave. The nerd is like, why? So at this point, the nerd from the beginning of the movie ain't the nerd no more. This is a little different nerd. Nerd's like, why? And again, they're rich, own the castle. Dad's like, all right, let me cut you a check. How much? And dude's like, nah, bro. Like, your wife want me here. I'm gonna stay. He's like, I need you to leave. Nah, bro. You want to cut me a milli though? 10 milli. He's like, all right, I cut you a milli. The dad cut him a check. 15 years later, the dad dies. At this point, we believe it's because of just old age or just unforeseen circumstances. The mom, she just happens to be in a coffee shop. in the coffee shop while ordering coffee, guess who's behind her? The nerd, writing like a play or a book. You know, he's on the laptop, typing up stuff. The mom talks to him. He talks to her. Next thing you know, he ends up back in the castle. How? Makes no logical sense, but he's back in the castle. We cut to the present. And this is something I was telling my wife the whole time. Every blue moon, they would kind of cut to the nerd in the future. So one, whatever happened in the movie, I knew the nerd wasn't going to die because they kept showing him in the future. Two, the way they kept showing him, I was like, I don't know if they're interviewing him because somebody died. They're interviewing him because he's in jail. They're interviewing him because he's making a book. I just knew they kept, like, he was talking. And I assumed they was interviewing him. Do you know this man has been sitting in the chair the whole time talking to the mom? And guess what? The mom ain't coherent. The mom is literally in a bed, unconscious, a potato, with a tube down her throat. And he's like, whoa, what happened to the mom? At that point, I had to pause the movie. And I was like, I don't know where this movie's going. I just know at the very beginning of the movie, when they was speaking they British or English, I couldn't understand the word they were saying because I couldn't follow. We are now probably 10, 15 minutes for this movie ending. I understand every word now. I don't know how I just learned thick accents in the span of an hour and a half, 2 hours, but I know what's going on. I was like, oh, snap. The nerd ain't no nerd no more. Do you know this man has plotted this from the beginning of the movie? Plotting to meet the dude, like actually meet him. Plot to hang out with him. Plot, I don't know how. Again, I like movies. This is a big plot hole. I don't know how that was going to happen, but whatever. Plotted to get invited to Saltburn. Again, that logically just makes no sense. But, you know, if you smart, you make it work. Plotted to basically get everybody on his side. And then plotted to somehow take over the fortune. So this man's goal was basically to steal Saltburn and the family's fortune, money, capital. He wanted it. And I think when he was invited to Saltburn, I think that's when he saw his opportunity. At a certain point, he killed the dude. And the way he killed him is he basically drugged him. Again, I'd rather you watch the movie to see how he drugged him. The sister, we actually don't know. The sister, again, we say she committed suicide in the tub by slitting her wrist. We don't know if she did that, if he did it, but at a certain point, he got the sister. He either broke her or he killed her. The cousin, again, the cousin never liked him since day one, so he probably been trying to get him out for a while. So, you know, he didn't kill the cousin, but the cousin gone. Me, personally, as a person who loves movies, I'm very upset that dad died of natural causes. I'd rather he actually got killed too, but he died of natural causes. And then the mama is her own freaking fault. As I said, every time somebody died, you would think, hey, why is the nerd still here? Like, again, we understand we was with you for the summer, but we need you to leave because my son died. Now my daughter died. The black cousin is gone. Like, why is the nerd still here? So it just make no sense. So now the mom, with her whole friends and family died, because I told you at a certain point, the friend of, well, the auntie, she died too, but she died off screen. The mama, at this point, she ain't got nobody because everybody died. For her to say, hey, nerd, I remember that one summer we hung out. We should, you know, you should come to the house, hang out. Why? You don't know this dude. What? Why? And at this point, I kind of forgot if he did it, but at a certain point, he basically killed her too. So he waited till she signed a piece of paper to basically give the whole fortune and castle to him. Which again, why? Again, I know her son and daughter dead, but just, I'm trying to figure out why would you do it now? Because again, she's probably like 50, 60. Because again, 15 years passed, so she's probably like 60 at this point. You still got probably a good 20 years. You ain't got to sign that paper for a while. So her signing the paper so early just makes no logical sense. But as soon as she signed that paper, guess who got sick? Guess who's in a wheelchair? Guess who's in that bed with that tube in her throat? And that man was gangster. He got on top of that woman. He did a few things, but I know he grabbed that tube in her throat and yanked it. Hurts. So basically the movie ends with this man now with the riches, now with the castle, now with the fortunes, dancing booty naked in the castle. And when I say booty naked, you know, for the first scene, you know, I always saw his booty cheeks. I ain't gonna lie, for a nerd, he was physically fit. Good for him. But that man did one too many twirls. He did one too many, you know, cabarets, if that's a word. He did too many jumping jacks. He did too much. We saw penis, whatever, you know. I'm a straight man. I can look at penis. I feel no some kind of way. But the naked part was weird. Why you naked? So yes, the movie had a few potholes that made no sense. But right now, we're basically just trying to see this kid as an evil genius. I think he just got lucky with a few things, and the people he was dealing with were just stupid. But yes, this was not the movie I was expecting. I was expecting a nasty man slurping up dirty water, and that's it. Somehow we got that. spit, massacre, period, head, dance naked, thriller, Manila. Where did this movie come from? Why was it created? And the bad thing about it, it's a good movie. Will I ever look at it again? No. But it's a good movie. It just had like one too many plot holes, and I'm just like, why? Why did you do that? How did that happen? This is so stupid. Oh, shoot! I forgot about one scene. Again, a little bit longer of a podcast, but I forgot about one scene. When the dude was dead, the main dude, not the dude, the dude, not the nerd, the dude, obviously they buried him, put him in the ground. Everybody and their mama left. The nerd decides to stay back, and he's crying, on the, not a tombstone, but, the gravesite. He feels some kind of way. Do you know at a certain point, this man took off his pants, took off his underwear, put his penis in the dirt, and just started to hump the dirt? So as I said, I don't know if dude gay, got an asphyxiation with the dude, but that right there was just like, why? Now, at the very end of the movie, he kind of had in his monologue, I don't think I actually was in love with him, but I believe I loved him. So again, he's basically saying he didn't really want to date the dude or marry the dude, but just something about the dude, he grown accustomed to. It's like he didn't want him, he wanted to be him. He wanted what he had, which is fine at the beginning of the movie at Oxford, but once he started killing people, like at a certain point, your love went a little batshit crazy. Sorry for cussing, but he went a little crazy on that one. So I'm just like, the whole slurping up the thing and then eating out the sister and then having sex with the earth and then at a certain point just start killing. It's like, I don't know when you was like, all right, I got to do what I got to do to get what I want to get. But it wasn't at the very beginning of the movie. I highly doubt that. At the beginning of the movie, you definitely wanted to be him. And again, you was a stalker looking at what. I got that weird. But once the murder came and the slurping came and the, peeing in the earth, I can't explain that part of the movie because it was just a weird movie. So yeah, as I said, I've been trying to watch a lot of movies. Like I actually have been watching more movies lately than I have in like last couple years. One other movie I saw was Saving Private Ryan. I ain't gonna lie, good movie, but I actually didn't need to see the movie. Vin Diesel, Tom Hanks, Matt Damon, I didn't really see the movie, but I finally saw it. It was good for me. But man, Saltburn, that was a different animal, and I just was not expecting that. So with that, I actually kind of enjoyed talking about movies, so I'm probably going to talk about more movies in the futures, and I'm going to try my best not to talk about like the movies from like the 90s, 80s, because I love those movies, but they're so old. But I like talking about movies, so I'm probably going to talk about movies a lot more, because that's my jam. But with that, this has been CedLove with his Devil's Advocate podcast. Hope you enjoyed the show. I know I did, and I'll see you soon. I'm going to let you know right now. I'm a peaceful person. People, I'm gonna let you know right now.